Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and it is day one of Jaded Blossom's January 2025 release. Hey, so I'm using their brand new Gnome Dies Safari add-ons, the brand new Wild Valentine stamp set, Jaded Blossom's Gnome Dies, their Car Dies Off-Road Vehicle, their Tropical Flower Dies, and their Mushroom Dies. And I did put this together on the assembly video for the Safari add-on, so check that out. Some of the things that I also used, so stamping pad skin tones from P13, black glossy cardstock from Simon Says Stamp, At the Zoo 6-inch pad from Doodlebug, and Safari Kids cardstock matte stack, that's an oldie, and Ripe Avocado cardstock from Paper Tray Ink, and Bo Bunny's Natural Necessities 6-inch pad. Okay, so first I'm going to put together the off-road vehicle, and I made a mistake. I cut it out of black first. I just should have cut it out of the main color that the car was going to be. But I'm adding the black glossy cardstock to the steering wheel and the side mirrors. So that is from Simon Says Stamp, black glossy cardstock. There we go, using my glue. And then I realized, darn it, I should have cut it out of the green first. So this is Ripe Avocado cardstock from Paper Tray Ink. Normally I would just apply the steering wheel to this, green cardstock, add the glossy mirrors to the side mirrors, add all these, accessories. But, I screwed up. So I decided I'm just going to make this thicker. So that's why I trimmed off the side mirrors, because I already stuck those down on the black. I'm using Gina K Connect glue for part of this, but you see that I had the hole poked too big, so it is flowing a little bit thicker than I would like. So I'm going to, I sort of wiped off some of that glue. I'm going to add my 2 layers together. Remember, when you do this, you'd only have 1 layer, right? So I'm going to wipe that down and let it dry. Next, I'm going to add on some more of these little pieces. There we go. Now this piece, this is the grill that's cut out of American Crafts black cardstock. Just wiping off the extra glue. I'm going to add that on. Next, we will be adding on the bumper, the wheels are also cut from American Crafts black cardstock, and I'm just going to stick those down as well. So as per usual, working on a Stampin' Up! Pad. Used my Anna Griffin Empress machine for all my die cutting. For anybody new out there, it's kind of what I always do. Using my reverse tweezers just to add these pieces on. Like I said, those are both American Crafts black cardstock. Now the bumper is black glossy cardstock from Simon Says Stamp. We're going to add that on with some glue, my reverse tweezers. There we go. And I kind of looked up safari vehicles, and I kind of went with what one looked like. So that's why I chose what I did. So this here is Recollections Christmas Shimmer cardstock. It was a pad, and I'm just using the white. Next, I'm going to add on these 2 little bumper pieces that were cut from that same black glossy cardstock from Simon Says Stamp. There we go. It's fun. And then I've got a license plate there ready to go, cut out of Paper Tray Ink white cardstock. Just going to move these guys over a little bit. Nice thing about black glossy cardstock is you can wipe the glue off before it dries, right? There we go. So figuring that out. So next I'm going to be using this sentiment stamp set called, I think it's called Adventure Awaits. Sorry, it'll be listed underneath the video. I didn't show it in the beginning. I'm going to stamp onto my little license plate. So it says it's a, sort of like an acronym for gnome lover, right? There we go. Or a short form. And then I can add my little license plate to the front of my little off-road vehicle. There we go. So it'll look like a little safari vehicle. Super fun, right? And I'm just trying to get it straight and even. There we are. Now, the little grill pieces, I cut it out of vellum, and I keep that piece in my die cutting package. And that way, if I ever want to line these guys up perfectly, I just pull it out, tape it down, and then add the little pieces, So now I'm using my Barely Art glue, And I'm just going to add glue to each of those little strips, and then I'll add the strips in. And it's just, for me, it's a way to get all of these straight, and you can see through it enough to line things up. So there I am. I'm going to line up all those little pieces. I know it seems a little bit, tedious, but like the outcome of this little vehicle, it's just so cute. It's totally worth it. So I'm just going to keep adding those on. Then I will weight them down. Oops, I'm just getting that last piece in place. That's the nice part about the vellum. It shows you exactly where they go and you can get things straight. So next I'm going to add the pattern paper to the front of my card with some ATG tape. This was cut 1/8 of an inch smaller than the front of an A2 size card. So that card base is 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5 inches, made out of paper tray ink, white cardstock, kind of my normal deal. So I'm just going to line that up, trying to get an even border. And a lot of this is going to be covered up, but I really liked because it was kind of like a safari looking animal deal. I have some Nina Desert Storm cardstock that I'm going to be using kind of like a path, kind of jungle path. And then the green American Crafts cardstock was cut with Jaded Blossom's mushroom, the mushroom dies. And it gives you kind of like a grassy hill. So I'm going to layer them up and put them at the bottom of this card base. I will trim off that overhang with a pair of scissors. I'm just trying to make it look kind of like it's the safari is going down like a jungle path is what I'm going for. So I'm going to layer this piece of Nina Desert Storm. I believe it used to be like a 1-inch strip, but then really I apply it to the bottom. It's only about, maybe 1/3 of an inch that's sort of showing there. I'm going to have the Jeep kind of at an angle is my plan. So I'm just trying to decide what I'm going to do. So I pull off that vellum, and isn't that fun? So I've got my little safari guy. I'm going to peel off his feet because I put his feet on for the assembly video. And I'm going to have him behind the Jeep. So I'm going to add on some ATG tape on the back, and I will be sticking him in place. Isn't that fun? Just super cute. Next, I'm going to get his little backpack in place. So I'm just going to try to get this all in place there with my ATG tape. I want the backpack to show, but at the same time fit in within the card, within the card limits. So now I'm going to add some glue to some of these, features that overlap my gnome, just so everything's stuck down. So I added a little bit of glue to the edge of that windshield. And I'm just sort of getting it in place. And there you have it. So like I said, you can watch me put that gnome safari add-ons assembly video and check me assemble these two pieces. Watch me assemble these two pieces. Now I added the two little hands cut from that same P13 stamping pad skin tones that's available over at the Jaded Blossom store. Pop them up with some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. On the inside, I'm going to add a 1-inch strip of paper from that At the Zoo 6-inch pad from Doodlebug. And I'll use the other side for another strip. I don't know, it's like 1/2 inch, and I add a little angled cut at the end. I'm just making like a little nest, of papers at the bottom of inside of my card, just for fun. Next, I'm going to stamp a sentiment using my Misty and that new Wild Valentine stamp set. And I'm going to stamp this sentiment, hope your Valentine's Day is wild. I love using my Misty just because, you can stamp it more than once if you need to. Remember not to press too hard because if you do, your letters and your fonts get a little bit mushed and they don't look as crisp. So, you're better off stamping things multiple times lightly. So there we go. So now I did cut out like a bunch of foliage from that tropical flower die set. And I cut them out of 3 different colors of green cardstock. All of them are from American Crafts. And I just kind of picked some greens that kind of coordinated with, that pattern paper. Now, remember, I sort of said that a lot of this background is covered, but, you see some animals peeking out here or there, and it kind of gives you a feeling of safari is what I was going for. So it's like he's driving through these, ferns and tropical plants. At least that's what I'm going for. So you'll have to decide if I kind of, if I succeed at that. So just seeing what else I can put behind there. And I'm only gluing the center of these, leaves just because I find it gives it a little bit of movement and lift when you don't glue it completely flat down. So there we go. And isn't that cute? So I'm just going to add a little bit of more of these little ferns down. And then I will stick this whole thing down flat. So there's a little bit of dimension like in the nose and in the goggles. And that's where the dimension is. But otherwise, I'm sticking this whole thing down flat on the card. Also, his little hands are, popped up with dimension as well. So I'm just going to get this in place, not perfectly straight, kind of at an angle. I'm just making sure I get the glue off there. And there we go. It's kind of fun. So I'm going to add one more of these little ferns kind of in the front, kind of making it look like he's driving through it. Just in the lower left-hand corner. I do add more glue to this one though, just so it doesn't catch on things. And I will trim off that overhang with a pair of scissors here, just so everything stays within that card boundary and easily makes it fit into an A2 size envelope. Just makes things easier. Now on the inside, I'm going to add one of these leaves, because why not? I have it, right? So add it with a little bit of glue. And I think I'll add one more with a little bit of glue as well. That Barely Art glue with a little needle tip is pretty handy. So I'm just going to add those two down. And we'll see if I can add a third. And yes, we will add a third with a little bit of glue. And I just put little dots on each of these little fronds just so, it keeps things flat inside my card. And there we go. So it's just kind of like a wild safari Valentine's Day card. There we go. So it's kind of cute, right? Trying to decide if I'm going to use any more of these. And I figured, what the heck? I'll add one more. There we go. Lots of place to write on this still. And there you have it. So he's super cute. Next, I'm going to pull out some shape sprinkles. These are Doodlebugs, Love This, and Flower Farm. So the little hearts are called Love This. And I'm just going to use some green matching ones. These weren't even meant to go with this paper line. Remember that Doodlebugs products, like they all kind of match each other. Like they use a lot of the same color families. So usually they'll work. So I'm going to do 3 hearts. Just trying to figure out where to put them. There we go. So we've got 3 hearts. And I'm going to, have them in a visual triangle. And then I'm going to pull out this Flower Farm and I'm going to add some flowers to those ferns in the background. I'm going to use these yellow ones. And, they work with the background and I just think it's fun. You'll notice that I also added glossy accents to his little goggles. I did that after it was assembled in the assembly video. So, I always find that, adding a little bit of shine is fun. You just got to let it dry for quite a while. So there is my card. I think it turned out super cute. So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to check out the assembly videos. Check out the videos of check out all the designs from my other design team members. They're amazing. And like I said, thanks for watching and we will see you soon in my next video. Bye, everybody.